Hey, good afternoon. This is Coach Bill with Weight Loss Made Easy. Hope everybody's having a great, what is today? Thursday afternoon. Today I'm doing my video on YouTube actually. My internet here at our new place isn't set up yet. So obviously I'm not going to be doing a live Facebook on this topic, but that's okay. We can get this out there the same way. Guys, this is a very serious topic, and I don't know why more health professionals or doctors aren't talking about this, because more and more information and more news stations and actually the World Health Organizations are now getting involved in this topic. And so the topic we're going to talk about is that the high levels of estrogen that is in your drinking water and in your foods is worse than they thought, because now there's more and more research coming out how these high levels of estrogen is causing issues with your own hormones, and how you're being, well, the word I'm trying to look for is you're being inundated with these high levels of estrogen in your water, in your drinking water, which means that you adults are drinking it and your kids are drinking it. And also, besides that, you're also getting a lot of high estrogen levels in your food you're eating because of the processed foods. And this is including when you guys are going out to dinner and you're buying and you're eating out 2 or 3 times a week. You're also eating it in the processed foods. And this is, you guys know this. You've seen it enough information on the estrogen issues in your food because of the food they're feeding the animals. But guys, this is very serious because it's causing some very major medical issues, and more information is coming out about this. So that's why I'm on YouTube today, to give you guys the information about that, and I'm backing it up with science also. And so if you go to my YouTube channel, you type in Bill Mabry, subscribe to it. In the description area, I'm going to put in my blog post that is going to be more specific about how serious this issue is, and it's also going to show you the science. And so I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what the blog is going to say. So go in there and click on to it and actually read it, okay? And so I've got my little cheat sheet here so I can kind of stay focused on what I'm about to say, because that's how important this is. Now, guys, you need to understand that not all estrogen is bad. You need good estrogen to have a balanced hormones, and to be able to balance your testosterone also. So, you know, it was funny because, I don't know, about 5 or 6 years ago, I thought that my testosterone levels or my estrogen levels were all balanced or all in good shape. And so my wife was going through some major hormonal issues because of our past involvement with competing on stage and being on that diet plan, that 12-week diet plan for multiple times. It caused hormonal imbalance or metabolic damage to her hormones, especially her adrenals. And so for years we were trying to balance it ourselves, and we were having a hard time. So we went to a bioidentical hormone specialist who helped us out. And so she did her hormones the right way with all the hormones. Come to find out that her adrenals were tanked, her estrogen was sky high, and her testosterone was way low. Now, ladies, especially those of you that are 40 and over, testosterone plays a huge part in your health also. So it's not just for men, it's for you guys also. And her progesterone was tanked also. And so it took, it took us probably, I would have to say, well over a year for her balances to start to level out through using a bioidentical hormone specialist. That's the only way we got it able to balance out, and she was having a better life, because you ladies know that PMSing is horrible, and if you're depressed and you're going through depression, most likely it's your imbalance of hormones, which you should get it checked. And those of you that are 40 and over that are actually adding belly fat or hip fat or just having a hard time losing that weight, it's not really your fault. You might be doing everything right by exercising or being on a clean meal plan, but you're not seeing the results you want to see. And so, you guys, just a second. I'll be right back. I forgot about something. Just a second. Okay, good. Sorry about that, guys. I had some keto almonds. I baked almonds I had in the oven, which I snack on for good dietary fat, and I forgot about it. I didn't want to burn them. But let's get back to the issue of high levels of estrogen and how it affects the hormones. And so you've got, guys, so hormones, estrogen plays a big part, but the problem is today that because of the environmental toxins put in your body in such an acidic environment or inflammation, and because of the huge amount of estrogen that is in water due to pharmaceutical waste that people are dumping into their toilets, or their medication or their birth controls getting into the water table or getting into the water, the filtration plants just cannot get it out. And so you're consuming it with every glass of bottled water you're drinking, or with every glass of city water you're drinking. You're consuming all these chemicals. And also the food that you're eating that's processed, you're also consuming levels of estrogen in that also. So your body is being overwhelmed with high levels of estrogen. And what this is causing havoc in your body and in your, as far as your health. And guys, you know that when you're estrogen dominant, because you're being overwhelmed with estrogen due to the environment and due to the food and water, that you're going to become estrogen dominant. And what does that mean? Well, why is breast cancer on the rise? And this is a big issue for young men and older men. Why are so many young men and older men have what they call man boobs? It's all due to high levels of estrogen dominant. But you have to understand that there's two types of estrogens. You have good estrogen and you have bad estrogen. So I'm just going to give you real quick what the good estrogen is. And I'm going to read it from what the research is saying. Okay, so the good kind of estrogen is known as 2-hydroxyestrogen. It's a very good estrogen. It actually helps to support. Now, this is very important to understand, because your testosterone levels is very important in both men and women to be at the healthy level. Most of you, your hormones are tanked out and you don't even know it, and you're feeling it. But it supports testosterone levels. It actually has a powerful anti-cancer effect, and it also is known as an antioxidant in general. And that's what I'm talking about, good estrogen. This is estrogen that your body produces naturally, or you're getting from the foods and the good stuff, okay? Now, believe it or not, estrogen has the ability to be good, but more than likely, most of you are overrun with what is called, 16-hydroxy and 4-hydroxy estrogen. It's actually called, and when you do a blood test, you'll have a reading there that will say estradiol, okay? That's a very important reading to see how high it is. In my case, thinking I was okay now, those of you that follow me know that I'm post-cancer. I don't know if because of my high levels of estrogen when they did my blood test, and I was down to around I don't know, 186, I was at 186 of my testosterone level, which is known by science to put me in a severe case of prostate cancer, because my testosterone was so low. And my estrogen was sky high, which shocked me. I had no idea that my hormones were that imbalanced. Now, I don't know if because my estrogen was high, that gave me cancer. I have no idea. But that could have been part of why I got it in the first place. Well, now, because we're going through, we have 4 protocols that we've been following for a few years now, actually for a while now, my hormones are pretty well balanced now. And of course, I've got my cancer under control. But so I had a lot of that bad estrogen. So most of you most likely have it too. And so you need to understand, you have to reverse that, guys. And so there are estrogens that are good, and of course there are estrogens that are bad. And I explained to you the good ones, and I explained to you the bad ones. Now, guys, you have to also understand that you that follow me know that I like to follow my videos with science. So when you click on to the description part of my YouTube channel and you go to the blog post at the bottom there, you'll see the references. And so you'll have the science backing up the good and bad estrogen, okay? Now, the good thing is you can reverse it. And the best way to reverse it, of course, is with live foods. And so there are certain foods that you can actually eat, which will be in that blog post, that actually acts as a estrogen blocker. Okay, and so I'll give you an idea of a couple of them. But the big thing to know, and this is where most health professionals and doctors don't explain, that there is a supplement that you can take that we are actually taking because of our age and because how estrogen is such a powerful chemical or toxin, and how the environment or the foods you eat has so much of it in there. You still need to boost up the blockers, so we take it. There's an over-the-counter one that works very, very well. But in these vegetables, there is an estrogen blocker or an enzyme called DIM, D-I-M. Now, I have the science name of it here, and I'm not good at pronouncing some of these scientific names, so I'm not even going to attempt it. But there's a certain enzyme in these foods that acts like an estrogen blocker, and they call it DIM, D-I-M. Now, the foods that I'm talking about is broccoli, cauliflower, bok choy, and Brussels sprouts. And so you might want to add these to your diet or as your veggies throughout the day. Now, of course, we eat primal food or meals, and so these are great foods for us to combine with our meals. And so in my blog post, you'll see more information on how DIM is a powerful, is powerfully enough to help to block that excess estrogen. So, guys, this is what most of the professionals don't explain. Or don't talk about. I don't know why they don't, but they just don't talk about water. You know how important water is. You know, water actually is the essence of life. And those of you that follow me, that you guys know, I talk a lot about that not all waters are the same. And I don't know how to get it into your minds more, or how serious our water our actual water is, and how toxic it is. I don't know how. I mean, it just seems like people just don't get it still. But maybe with the research I have put on there, they'll understand more that they're not immune from these diseases that you can contract from all these toxic chemicals that are in your food and water. And guys, your body is 75% water. So if they're showing high levels of estrogen in the bottled water, or the filtered city water, or the so-called alkaline health water you're buying at health food stores in plastic bottles, then what do you think is the simplest way that these high levels of estrogens are getting into your body? Now, these toxins, or these high levels of estrogen, your body's just not flushing them out, and they're being stored at the cellular level. And over time, that chemical or those toxins are going to be building up and causing havoc to your health, and that's why we are one of the sickest countries in the world. So if your body is 75% water and you're drinking water full of high estrogen, what do you think that's going to do to you? And what about your young kids who are smaller and they're drinking that high levels of estrogen in their water? What do you think is going to happen to them in 20 years or 30 years? Well, why is cancer in young kids still escalating? Why is type 2 diabetes in young children and adults escalating? Why is dementia escalating? Why are many of the diseases escalating? Well, if you research it, it's going to be because of the environment, or because of the water you're drinking, or because of the food you're drinking. And so you need to really pay attention to this and look at what science is saying, and that the best water on this planet is hydrogen-rich water. See, the Japanese figured it out. So they've developed a ionization device to sit on a counter to be hooked up to your faucet in your sink that will actually change the city water into healthy water, into what they call hydrogen-rich water that has molecular hydrogen H2 in it, which is the most healthiest water on the planet. And that this water has the ability to flush out all those toxic chemicals that are being stored up in your cells, and to give you the ability to at least have a chance to survive in this toxic world, and to healthily to reverse or prevent some kind of disease that you have. I mean, the science is in the blog post, guys. I've posted the science on this water. But let me give you an example here. That there's a couple of news stations, and this first one was done by MSNBC, and they did a 2-year research showing that high levels of estrogen in water is in our rivers and in our lakes. And they even stated in their newscast that they found that fish actually change sex because of the high levels of estrogen. Now, that makes a lot of sense, because what's happening to the young boys and men with these man boobs? High levels of estrogen. And so they also found, the World Health Organization is warning people that 93% of the bottled water they're drinking is contaminated with plastic particles. Now, how does that make sense to be drinking? How many bottles of water does your family drink in a week or a day? You know, and the science is showing that there's actually plastic water or plastic particles in the water. I put on my blog post in the reference section, I put the video of these 2 news stations talking about this, and I've also put the video about the scientific research that actually found the plastic particles. So all the information's there. So if you're drinking bottled water with plastic particles and your brain is 80% water, what's that causing? What will happen to you over time? Dementia is on the rise. Bipolar is on the rise. Could there be some relationship here? Who knows? But why take the chance? And so, guys, you need to really focus on the water your family's drinking, and you also need to understand that it's also in the food you're eating. So, in our program, we have an online personal coaching program where we teach our clients what types of foods they need to eat, what time they need to eat it, so that you can activate not only your internal natural body's way of detoxing all the chemicals out, But by changing the type of water you're drinking to hydrogen-rich water, which is structured in a way to also detox you with every glass of water, you're going to have a better chance, and your kids are going to have a better chance to survive in this toxic world and to prevent many diseases that seem to be escalating. But some of the biggest issues that are out there on high levels of estrogen is it's affecting more and more women's hormones and men's. And that the foods you eat is going to help block those high levels of estrogen. There's doctors now that are actually recommending everybody should be using DIM to help block the bad estrogen. It's not going to block the good ones; it's going to block the bad estrogen. We actually, as coaches, personal training coaches, we recommend all of our clients over 40 need to be taking the over-counter DIM. Like I'm not a doctor, I'm not prescribing anything. I'm going off our experience for these over the 40 years. And you can get the DIM over the counter. You can look it up yourself. You can see the benefits. I actually put, there's actually science research on DIM that explains what I'm talking about here. There's actually those of you that may know somebody that have cancer that was sent down to Mexico to a cancer clinic because they want to do it alternative. A lot of those clinics won't even treat you unless you're on DIM. That's how powerful and how important DIM is to help block the bad estrogen. Type 2 diabetes, that's another big one that's escalating. Could be because of high levels of estrogen, inflammation in the body. Another big thing that a lot of you don't know is fatty liver disease. A lot of you have it, you don't even know it. This also affects the acidity of the body and causes inflammation and also causes obesity. Fatty liver is one of the root causes of obesity and type 2 diabetes. And so, guys, this is something you really need to pass on to your friends and family members. Look at, go to my YouTube channel, type in Bill Mabry, subscribe to it. Click onto that blog post and read more of the specifics on this and take this seriously, even if you as an adult think you're immune to degenerative diseases, which you guys aren't. But why are you letting your kids consume so many toxins when science is actually telling you that the easiest and fastest way to get these high levels of estrogen into your body, which will cause havoc among your young kids, is by the type of water you're drinking because it's in the water. And the videos will show it. You know, take the time, watch the videos. I even have videos on there that are showing the documentaries about how toxic the water is. This is something you don't want to blow off. You really want to look at it. And those of you that are interested in trying the water, you know, if you live in our area, we give the water away for free for a couple of weeks for you to try for yourself. And then we educate you with science to show you this is the real deal. And that this is something that someday I think that a lot of the American people are going to have these devices, these ionized devices that change your city water into hydrogen-rich water, because the water is getting so contaminated and the water filtration systems out there cannot take them out. So your city water is pretty bad. So guys, if you want more information on our online coaching, which you'll be getting a lot of great value with that. Or if you want to know more about hydrogen-rich water, message me and we will send you some information about it. So you guys have a great day, and please guys, really research this and take this seriously because it's all about our young kids. Now, they have a smaller body, guys, and when they're consuming all this estrogen, it's going to create even more havoc on them. Now, you guys have been drinking this water for a long, long time, so you're getting closer to the time when you may have some kind of medical issue. So guys, hope you saw some value in this video. We'll see you guys next time around. Bye.